2023 NASCAR at Sonoma was the greatest race of all time. Fantastic, 10 out of 10. Would watch it again over and over and over and never fall asleep. Yeah, that's the race review. Bye-bye. See you later. Obviously, I'm joking and lying. If that was not funny, haha. Yeah, that was terrible. Awful race, in my opinion. Don't really know how to change it, but meh. I blame Martrix Jr. because Martrix Jr. has the capability of winning the most boring races alive. That's why TCB, shout out TCB, very dislikes him and runs the FTW Truex gang because he wins boring races apparently. But I'm not that extreme, but man, it was bad. That was not a good race. Concept of no cautions with the stage breaks I like. The problem was there was a caution, a natural caution, for a tire coming out of pit lane, which, to be fair, it didn't go onto the track. It was on pit lane. I think you didn't have to throw a yellow for that, but I understand why it was thrown. But the way that caution fell, it fell into a point where everyone now was kind of stuck on the same strategy, so it kind of eliminated any of the strategy hopes that was from lap 1, because once you got to the very close to the end of stage 2, that caution comes out, it ruins the rest of the strategy for everyone. Everyone has to be on the same thing, and at that point it was kind of just meh. Certain guys benefited from that, certain guys, got hurt from that, but the point was that everyone's strategy became the same. So that was a little bit annoying. Overall, I like the next gen car. I keep saying I like the next gen car, but I'm not blind to the issues with it. The road course racing, something just feels off. I don't know what it is. I saw Chase Elliott with 16 lap old tires stay in the top 5. That just shouldn't happen at Sonoma. You know what I mean? Like, no offense, Chase Elliott's great and everything, but at Sonoma with 16 lap old tires, for you to stay in the top 5 really does not make sense. For some guys who can't get into the top 10, but once they get track position, can't leave the top 5, and they stay there the whole time, doesn't really make sense. Track position seems so important with this car, but it's not. I don't think it's because of dirty air. I think it's just because everyone is so similar. This is one of the worries that you had when you made the next gen car and everything, and that it was basically becoming a spec series. NASCAR was streamlining the parts. A lot of people have certain parts that are all the same that you get from NASCAR, and it makes the it makes the racing and everyone much closer. But I actually think that's hurting the road course racing. Now, I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know if it's because this all plays a part. The bigger tires, there's more grip, so with more grip, you're not sliding around as much. You're going faster on the road courses. Faster means more dirty air. The cars are harder to move, so there's not really more like, beating and banging because the cars are very stable with the bigger tires. I don't know. It's just something that I don't know if it's fixable. That's my only worry with the road course racing, is that I do think the older cars, it was much better for road course racing. And I don't know where you get the next gen car to be like the older car, because I prefer the next gen car in intermediates. I prefer the next gen car in certain ways on super speedways, but on short tracks and road courses, like we know, it just doesn't really work. And today was a prime example. Just nothing happened in that race. Didn't have people moving up through the field. You didn't have people falling back. Other than Daniel Suarez in the first 4 laps because he missed a shift. Other than that, it's just nothing was going on. And the only way you can gain strategy and the only way you can move up is through a caution break that falls your way, and then you are able to stay up there for a little bit. Kyle Busch was not supposed to be running in the top 5. He couldn't get up there. But the caution falls his way, and next thing you know, he's there. And it's not just Kyle Busch. That could have happened to William Byron. It could have happened to Ryan Blaney if he got put up there. It could have happened to a lot of guys that if they just got the track position, they would have stayed up there. To me, that's a little bit frustrating. It's a little bit annoying because it feels too Formula 1-esque. You kind of know what's going to happen. And the thing about NASCAR is that, Formula 1 has the glitz and the glamour. I love both of them. But Formula 1's product is definitely not great. And I feel like the NASCAR product is turning into the Formula 1 product in terms of it's predictable, especially on the road courses. I'm again talking only about road courses. Predictable, track position means everything, and there's not a lot of changes there. I do like the idea of not bringing out the caution. I think this race would have been a little bit different if the caution in stage 2 never came out. I think the strategy would have been a little bit more interesting, and that would have made the race a little better because you just had to keep an eye on the different strategies. But once that caution came out, it just became so boring because you just knew nothing was going to happen. Truex played a part in that because Truex absolutely dominated. Not a surprise. I said it last week. I said the favorites, obviously, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. specifically at Sonoma, because Truex and Sonoma is a combination that goes together really well, like a sandwich and chips or a Pepsi at midnight because you're thirsty and you just decided to crack open a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola. I don't want to piss anyone off. And that's about it as all I can say about the race. We'll go to the race results because we'll talk about some of the guys, but really just nothing really happened. There was only one actual natural caution, which was Denny Hamlin, who I think broke a toe link or something down the front straightaway and ended up crashing, and he was doing really well. But compared to Truex, no one could touch Truex. It just nobody, and that's not a surprise. It's just it made for a really, really boring race. Martin Truex Jr. wins. Congratulations to him. JGR was the class of the field, even though only one of them finished in the top 8, which is not really telling the full story. Guys like Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick kind of all got screwed on the caution because they lost track position that Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, AJ Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, all those guys gained, and the Gibbs guys lost. Now Truex was fast enough to overcome that and just go. So the Gibbs cars were the fastest. It doesn't showcase that you have 4 Chevys in the top 8. They were not the fastest. They just weren't. It was the Gibbs cars. It was Truex. It was Hamlin. It was Bell. It was Ty Gibbs. It was Christopher Bell. If they kept that track position, they would have been fine. But they lose the track position, and that's it. On the other hand, you could say the same thing, that if they never had the track position, then they would have been the fastest. And that's the thing about this next-gen car that's so hard to figure out. It's like, you get that track position, are you fast, are you not? I don't know. Truex really was. That was just the biggest difference. Sky, be quiet. And so, like, and for example, let's talk about Bubba Wallace for a second. He's not in the race result list, obviously nowhere near. He finished in 17th. This is what I mean when Bubba Wallace needs to do better on road courses. All 5 of his Toyota teammates were running top 5 at the beginning of this race. He was in 21st. Like, that's just not acceptable. And I've been saying this. He knows it. He has to get better at road courses. But I have literally all 5 of your Toyota teammates, including a rookie and Ty Gibbs, running in the top 5. And you're in 21st. You just can't. You just can't. You got to get better at the road courses one way or another. There are 6 of them on the schedule, with rumors of Montreal coming next season, which would be fantastic. I absolutely love Montreal. That's my favorite road course, literally. Watkins Glen is my favorite road course in the Cup schedule, but my favorite road course, like, in NASCAR history that is not on the schedule anymore is Montreal. It is that is the Circuit de Villeneuve is my favorite road course. Fantastic. Love it. I always wanted to see the Cup cars there. I don't know why they were not there in the past, but they have to go there because I think it's a fantastic racing facility. But, going back to that, you've got to get better at the road courses. So Bubba Wallace really has to work on that. Kyle Busch finishes in 2nd, continuing his really, really strong run this season. And he was really good. He got up to Truex for a second, but, no one was going to really battle Truex. You just can't. He was too fast. I think dirty air plays a part of it, but Truex was just too fast. Joey Logano gets home for a 3rd place finish with a really good run. Chris Buescher ran really well, got to 4th. Chase Elliott used pit strategy towards the end. He stayed out. And he was on, like I said, 16 lap old tires, and there was 15 to go at Sonoma, and he stayed in the top 5. That just shouldn't, in my opinion, that just should not happen. Not at a track like Sonoma that eats the tires alive. It just showcases how difficult the car is to get through traffic. Because the guys on fresh tires should be able to annihilate Chase Elliott. They should be able to annihilate him within 5 laps. I've seen it in the past. Even in Gen 6 cars, you get annihilated on old tires. Like, the guys on new tires could just fly right through. And with this next-gen car, it just is not like that. And it just doesn't create the passing, the necessary going through the field that you need to create a better race. And congratulations to Elliott. Good call by Gustafson, but I think his finishing position showcases my issue with this this car at this track and the car in general at road courses with what it needs, because there's just no way on 16 lap old tires you should be able to stay in the top 5. There's just no way. I don't see how that can happen. It just should not happen. There was not even a caution in those last 15 laps. Genuinely, with 16 lap old tires, he stayed in the top 5, which, yeah, I don't understand that. AJ Allmendinger in 6th, Michael McDowell in 7th, Kyle Larson in 8th, Bell in 9th, Ross Chastain in 10th. The rest of your results, there's really nothing to talk about. I'm being completely honest. There's just nothing to talk. It was just a very boring race. If that was one of my worst races of the season, 4 out of 10. Yeah, Fox's final race of the season as well. Good riddance. I'm just sick of them. It's not like, I want to make it very clear. I've said this multiple times. Not Mike Joy's fault. Not Clint Boyer's fault. Not Larry McReynolds' fault. Jamie McMurray, Tony Stewart, Danica Patrick, whoever else that they've had in that booth. It's not the fault of them. I have a very big issue, and I think a lot of you guys do it, with the production and the direction that Fox executives, the guys that you don't even hear of, that you don't even know of from the network that are at the top, they don't understand how to promote or market the sport. It's extremely frustrating. I've seen it again for another year. They're gonna re-up because it's Fox. I mean, I don't want to get political here, but it's Fox. I mean, we're talking about NASCAR. This is their base. They're gonna keep it around. They want to keep NASCAR around. They want to keep the Daytona 500. But for the love of God, you have to improve the direction. The network executives are just atrocious. They're awful. They have been like this for the last 3 or 4 years. They don't understand how to market the sport. And as soon as NBC shows up, you're going to see a tick in energy and emotion and production and direction and being able to promote it how it should be. This is America's largest motorsport. It should be marketed in a serious way, not cartoons on the screen for laughs and trying to, show kids in the stands every 5 seconds. Oh, we're having a great kumbaya time. No, this is a serious motorsport that should be marketed like that and not in a childish way. And that's what Fox has been doing for the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm just tired of it. So good riddance to them. They'll re-up for the next 7 or 8 years, whatever it is. So they're not going to go away. My only hope is that the network executives someone could just rattle their brains a little bit, get someone of a younger age in there. I just have a feeling they're all 60 and above in there, and just, figure out a way to market it directly, because they're absolutely god-awful. But welcome NBC in 2 weeks. They'll be back, and that's the greatest news from today. The race itself was terrible. The season itself has been very average, but hopefully as we switch over to NBC, the broadcast, and it makes a huge difference, guys. It makes a huge difference. The broadcast makes a big difference. The energy will tick up, and hopefully it'll be a lot better. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think? To me, this race was the worst race of the season, in my opinion. It just really did not hit on any level. And then next week, there's no race. And then following that is Nashville. Heading into, I think Atlanta has the Memorial Day or the July 4th weekend now. So that's going to be a little bit intense. And we'll see how it goes to the end of the season. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. So subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your night. And see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.